What's going on? Welcome to Asian Cosell. So I got one here from Modern Dating here. So, yep, and this chick, man, she took 25 members to their date to test his generosity, but it seriously backfired. So let's get into the video. Let's go.
A woman took 23 of her family members on a blind date to test this man's generosity. And well, obviously it backfired because she was left with a $3,100 bill. She even had to pay for his food and drink. So her plan definitely backfired.
Somehow she thought it would be a good idea to test her date generosity by taking her entire family with her, but it backfired heavily. She was left with the full bill, including his.
According to a new study, many women are choosing free meals over relationships. The study in the journal Social, Psychological, and Personality Science says up to a third of women have engaged in a foodie call. It's when a person sets up a date with somebody they have no romantic interest in, all for a free meal.
That's right. Studies show a third of all dates are just people trying to eat for free. So, fellas, sometimes that eggplant emoji just means I'm in the mood to eat eggplant.
In this economy, that's just smart. I mean, if you saw what we had to pick from, I think you'd want a free meal too. And this is why we split it 50-50. I've been on a few of those. One of them even got to order for her kid. I am always down for a foodie call. I'm glad there's a term for what we've all been doing for years. I know this economy is affecting everyone, but when we think about the guys who are sponsoring those dinners, this matter becomes more interesting. This is one of the main reasons there is no need to do an expensive date, especially during the early stage of the interaction. It will remove everyone who intentionally just wants to get a free meal. They will be the first to reject it once they realize it won't be anywhere fancy. This is also a good strategy to separate those who have a genuine intention from those who just want to eat. If they don't mind whether it's a coffee date or a walk in the park, you know you have the right one. And if they request a dinner date or something expensive, at that point, you should know their main motivation. They just want to have the opportunity to eat for free. Fortunately, guys are wising up on this matter and are no longer spending their money on those initial dates as it doesn't make sense. They either go.
Yep, and that's what happens, and of course, like this chick took 25 members to test his generosity. Dude, these days, yeah, men are finding out, no, these chicks are like, I want that free foodie date. And I actually talked to a few chicks. They're like, yeah, I'm just kidding. Sometimes I'm just on there just to eat for free because I have no money. So, yeah.
Go to a place where it's not expensive or they split it 50-50. Most of us wouldn't mind going to an expensive restaurant, but it must be with our significant other, not a stranger.
Mm-hmm. What the?
Waitress, cut that check right down in the middle. Fellas, we gotta stop going to restaurants for first dates.
Yeah.
Not me. Split the bill, and you catching your Uber home.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on how you eat your food, I ain't paying for it. This is my reminder to never pay the whole bill. I would go to the restroom and leave. Apparently, she was there to eat, and it seems like she was really focused on what actually mattered to her. If you find yourself in a similar situation, you already know that you just helped someone to get a bit of food because based on her reaction, it's clear that she doesn't want to do anything else but eat. If you need food, make sure you get the help from the right place because using a date as a source of free meals is not the right thing to do, as it can change people's perspective related to it.
Mm-hmm.
Then she's going to be the one complaining that most guys are no longer willing to take them on dinner dates. What do they think will happen to a guy after being the source of free meals while trying to meet someone? His approach will change, and this is when they become smart about it. And from that moment, no more dinner date. In her situation, if she is lucky, she can get away with it and get her free meal. But I know some guys would have asked the waiters to cut the bill in half and give her hers. Since she came to eat, she might as well pay for her food.
Why would you take your entire family on a date just to check his generosity?
No kidding.
He left the whole family in the restaurant with the full bill. Now she will have to pay for their meals. Mind you, she took 23 of them, and that's a lot of people to feed.
A woman took 23 of her family members on a blind date to test this man's generosity. And well, obviously it backfired because she was left with a $3,100 bill. She even had to pay for his food and drink. So her plan definitely backfired. What on earth was she thinking? You know, bringing your mum's enough, yet alone her family. It's just bonkers that she really thought this man would, you know, be the one if he pays for 23 of her family members. He was never going to pay, was he? I think even a billionaire would probably tell her to bugger off, because that is literally just milking it. That is taking the piss. Leave a comment. Let me know, what would you do? Would you walk out, or would you put your hand in your wallet and pay this bill? And for more videos, don't forget to like and follow, and I'll see you all in the next one. 23 family members. What a joke.
I wouldn't have stayed for the dinner. I would have left. Red flags all over. I would have walked out the moment I had seen the family. I wouldn't pay, not in a million years. I would not have stayed for the date as soon as I saw how many people she brought along.
Yeah.
I would like to shake this man's hand. Let them order as I'm going to the bathroom, and then I would leave and block her number. I was invited by a friend's mom for a dinner with another 5 persons. Turns out I was expected to pay the bill. My friend had a go at me for allowing her mom to pay the bill. At this point, I think most of us have heard many stories about people using dates as a source of free meals, and I bet most of us didn't know that someone could still surprise us when it comes to this matter. But I have to agree that she was creative, but unfortunately, it didn't go as planned. What did she expect? She must be the owner of that restaurant, and it's probably facing some challenges due to lack of customers, because I can't believe she thought it would be perfectly normal to get someone to pay dinner for her entire family. It seems like she doesn't know it, but she would be lucky if he was willing to pay for both of them, as guys are no longer willing to go on a dinner date, unless...
Yeah, just alone on a dinner date, or like if a woman comes and goes and she's not even focused on you, she just like focus on the food, or she comes and she goes, oh yeah, I gotta order 8 more dinners for my kids, and she expects you to pay for it. Yeah, it's time for you to go kick some rocks. No. And
unless they are with their partner. Her creativity didn't work well, and now she was the one left with that bill. It will serve as a lesson of what not to do, and I know for sure she will never bring any family member to a date again. This is the worst way to test someone's generosity, because even a generous person wouldn't be willing to cover his date's entire family dinner, as they also have common sense. They wouldn't allow their date to take advantage of their generosity. But I am glad he was smart enough to get himself out of that situation without emptying his bank account. And I think most people are not surprised by his reaction, because most of us probably would have done the same thing. She just learned a valid lesson. Never try to test the generosity of someone by pushing them to give your whole family a free dinner.
She believes that nobody goes on a date just for a free meal, and she wants to prove her point.
We need to clear up this misconception that guys have that girls want to go out on dinner dates with guys because they need a free meal. Be so effing for real right now. A woman will not spend time with a man if she doesn't want to, for the exact same reason that you all don't want to go on dinner dates, because it is a time investment. I see these comments on my videos all the time, and I just think it's hilarious that guys think that women can't take care of themselves, especially when it comes to something as simple as a meal. A lot of us cook at home, and we're perfectly fine doing that. We also can buy ourselves our own meals, and we don't need another person to be present to be able to enjoy a meal. None of us are hungry enough that we will pretend to enjoy your company in order to have a free meal, because our
doesn't go out for a free meal. Still expects you to pay regardless.
yeah.
If a woman likes a man, he doesn't have to buy her anything. Girls get love drunk. definitely never buy them dinner unless you're in a relationship. I don't know what fantasy you are living in. While this may be true in most cases, there are definitely women who openly talk about doing this. Why is she speaking for others? It's great if you don't do it, but trying to cover for everyone isn't a good idea because some people intentionally go on dates just to eat.
Yeah, like I just said, I just talked to, a few chicks are like, yep, I just go on these apps and have the guy pay for dinner. So no, you're not speaking for everyone. There's chicks that do this crap. So, and not every chick cooks a meal or even know how to cook one from scratch, especially the modern women, majority can't even cook. So what are you talking about?
To be honest, I like the way she spoke about this subject. We can see how naive she is, and sounds like she lives on a different planet.
Yeah.
Based on her talking point, this is something that is not happening on the dating scene, and somehow guys are making it up. She is definitely clueless about our reality. It seems like she is speaking for herself and wants to place everyone else in the same basket, but this is not how things work. I bet she has been in a relationship for years, so she doesn't have much experience in that field. She should have taken the time to ask her brother his opinion about this subject. I know for sure she will get the updated information.
So this girl went on 6 dates a week so she didn't have to pay for groceries for 2 years. And I have to say I respect her because that shit sounds like a part-time job. She was saving $150 a week. She went on to say she made the video jokingly, but I do believe she was at least going on 2 dates or 3 dates a week, saving $150. And I respect her because all you would have to do to avoid that whole situation is keep what she got in her hand, bro. You could easily avoid getting finesse if you just take her ass to Starbucks. You maybe get her a croissant, maybe, right? But just spend $10 on a Frappuccino. You spend $10 yourself. Like I said, maybe on a croissant, and you good. Now you really know it's about getting to know each other and not about a free dinner date.
She could have been world's best chess player with that dedication. The same women don't understand why men don't spend too much on first dates. She would be better off getting a part-time job instead of wasting all this time organizing these dates.
Yeah.
Why would you place yourself in a position where you have to pretend to be interested in someone just to get some food? It doesn't make sense at all. Why can't she get a job? Her life would be a lot easier, and she wouldn't have to do all this gymnastics just to have a plate of food.
No kidding.
Imagine those guys who thought they went on a date with someone who has the same interest, only to go home with nothing, and probably thinking why it didn't go well. Not knowing she wasn't interested from the start, as her main focus was the food. If the same amount of time and effort were used to find a job, I know she would be in a better situation.
This is all for today's video and I hope you like it. Make sure you check our channel tomorrow for another exciting video.
Yep, and shout out to Modern Dating here for posting this video. And yeah, why these days? Yeah, these days I'm just like, okay, if I was to go hang out with a chick, I'm like, okay. Yeah, Korea will be doing like 50-50, but most of the times I don't even hang out with chicks here as much. But yeah, same thing with Philippines, it's much cheaper. So I was like, hey, where do you want to go? So yeah, it depends. And some of those, especially like girls in Southeast Asia, they'd be like, yeah, let's cook at home. I'm like, all right, cool. So yeah, she knows how to cook. So yep. So there you go. If any of you enjoyed any of this content, please give me the HKO special help to King out. Hit the like, subscribe, and comment. And wherever you are, stay safe. And I'll see you in my next video.